person really involved in day-to-day business. So with this very brief introduction, I give you the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm quite surprised because I didn't know that I was the first. So the pressure
Yeah, it was
mine.
a bit of a change.
We're living in a changing world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Uncertainty.
thank you anyway for this invitation. It's always a pleasure and a great honor to be here in such a let's say quality audience. Which deserve to be even wider and bigger, and I'm happy that it's growing from year to year as number. It should be bigger in order to be able to spread the words of freedom until the freedom will ring, as Martin Luther King used to say, until we should be able to join hands together and sing Let the Freedom Ring. And this because the major reconfiguration, if we go on the title of the theme, the major reconfiguration which is happening in the world nowadays, I consider it's the end of free in a wider sense, not only on the free trade. It's the end of free and growing of governmental intervention. We're experiencing an expansion of the etatism. And due to the fact that the audience here is rather young, as I see, and maybe some of you will want to go in the entrepreneurial environment when you will finish university, so on. And being as an entrepreneur, I will focus on a point that draw my attention in this spring. It's a phenomenon that it's happening not only in Romania, but in the whole world, in Europe mostly, but in this spring in Romania happened to be more visible. More concrete, I'm speaking about the governmental intervention on the last frontier, meaning entrepreneurship, business creation, through programs like free money for entrepreneurs. I don't know if you are familiar with Startup Nation, this program, which is very, let's say, mediated. It's very covered by the media in this spring. And you know, there is a saying in the business that says that the best money to have a business is other people's money. Now the Romanian government is taking this phrase to a bigger scale. Because these programs are practically done with no co-financing. No co-financing, and it's given very easily to wannabe entrepreneurs, let's say. What is an entrepreneur, practically? An entrepreneur is a person who identifies a need in the society, who bring together in a creative manner the factors of production in order to satisfy this need, to assume the risk of the capital, the risk of the financial involvement, let's say, in order to maximize the profit. Practically, this is a definition of an entrepreneur. And in this kind of program, practically, this issue of risk, taking the risk, it's not existing. So it's kind of free money, which is giving an idea that the capital is free, and it's modifying the whole perception about the cost. of doing a business. Um, why I'm saying this? It's because it brings three logical programs, these kind of programs, on three logical issues. On one hand, if the profit is the reward of the risk, and the entrepreneur, it's the one who should take the risk. It's an entrepreneur founded by the state, entitled morally to dividends of the profit. This is a philosophical question, but it's we should ask ourselves if this kind of founded entrepreneurs are entitled to profit. Or another logical issue could be if market is a best form of resource allocation. Isn't these programs, aren't these programs a way of subsidizing inefficiency of all the parties involved and also of the wannabe entrepreneurs? Or another logical problem, it comes from the argument that, you know, these programs are creating jobs. They are calculating that, okay, we finance 20,000 jobs and 10,000 business and each of them 2 jobs. So we create 20,000 jobs, which is not very fundamental also, this, despite the fact that we are not focusing on creating jobs in such a programs, we are focusing on entrepreneurship, so not on social security. But these jobs are not given to the people who don't have jobs. So I can take a person from another business. So it's not job creation. We don't count jobs 2 times, you know. So also this kind of argument is not sustainable in practice. So usually a business, a profitable business can get financing from the private investor. I don't think that the funds who are offered, let's say, through the state, but these funds are coming from the taxpayer, practically should be dedicated to high-risk investments, because this is kind of programs. These kind of programs are high-risk, let's say, investments. So what we see is that entrepreneurship, or entrepreneurship is transforming into social protection. We don't, and this is the last area where social protection should be. We cannot provide this type of resources to business started by entrepreneurs and affecting in this way the real entrepreneurs. Because, for example, if I'm developing, as an example, a hotel, a small hotel in a part of the country, and in 2 years from now, it coming some European funds or governmental funds who provide to another person 90% free money, and he is making the same business near me. What will be the result, practically? The entrepreneur who invested will be out of the market, because he cannot offer to the same price as the entrepreneur who is financed with free money with 50% or 70% or 90%. So what we will have after 5 years? A broke entrepreneur, a broke investor, and a person who just have a renovated house, let's say, or a new house. which brings me to another, let's say, level or projection in the future, that in the future it might be that there will not be profitable business unless they are financed by the state. In the last 10 years, 27% of the entrepreneurs, let's say, took money from the state in one form or another. You know, it's only 10 years. And we can imagine how fast this is growing, and maybe in 20 years, where we'll be. I didn't start business with money from the state, that's why I'm saying this. But yeah, but I'm thinking that I cannot start another business in 2 years unless I will have money from the state, because otherwise I'm in a very big danger. So these kind of programs is nothing related with free market anyway, and have a very big kind of risk from moral perspective. Now I'm not encourage you not to apply, because once these programs are, what can we do? We should take this money, because otherwise, as I argumented, you could be put it out from the market by people who financed with the money from the state. So you should take this money, but we should not forget that, and we should not, let's say, avoid to put our opinion that this is a poisoned kind of gift given by the governments, and when you enter with the governmental funds in the area of entrepreneurship, practically you are threatening the last mile of freedom from this perspective, because in 20 years you could have only businesses financed by the state remaining, small businesses financed by the state. What the entrepreneur needs instead, you know that Ronald Reagan said at some point that the most threatening words for an entrepreneur is I'm from the government and I'm here to help. So what entrepreneurs need instead of this free funding, it's less bureaucracy, it's people with purchasing power, so low taxes, it's less bureaucracy in order to develop business. So they just need to be left to develop and to risk, because also the risk, it gives you motivation to succeed. So if you don't have risk, practically your motivation to succeed is decreasing. So the statistics about failure will be even worse. You know that 80% from the new business are failing after a few years. So imagine that if you have no risk, how many businesses could fail if the financing is disappearing from the state? So you are subsidized in the first part of activity by the state, and then you will not be subsidized, but your business starting without, let's say, a need from the market. It started because the state gave you money in some area. So there is no allocation of this resourcing relating the needs. Practically this part, which means the risk assumed, it's a very important part for an entrepreneurial project, and this makes an entrepreneur to be very involved and to take care a lot with deep attention and responsibility toward his business. In the end, concluding is that the best allocation of the money is done by the people who are producing that money. So, you know, if anybody had any doubt about the state being the worst administrator, you know this sentence, let's say, this kind of projects with free money, I guess, avoid all the doubts. And I think there is a lot of room for improvement in this kind of area, and which is influencing practically the free market overall. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very, let's say, practical approach and market-oriented. Of course, we'll have some time for discussion at the end of the